Gavin.
Yeah.
Okay, how are you, Gavin? You're the first one today.
Hi, John. I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. What time is it over in Washington State?
It's 5 in the morning.
5 in the morning. Okay. Early bird.
Yeah. I don't normally wake up this early, but I haven't seen you in a while, so I thought I'd make the effort. And I have about 12, maybe 14 days off of work, so I'm gonna focus on trying to move my practice forward.
Yeah. Just make it a retreat. Force
Mhm.
yourself to stay in place. Especially right now, you're forced to stay in place anyway, right?
Right. Yeah, I don't go anywhere besides work or getting groceries.
Yeah. So it's a good opportunity to practice.
Yeah.
Just stay inside and be mindful. Keep mindfulness alive and keep sitting in meditation as much as possible. If you cannot sit, then you get up and walk or read Dhamma books. And
Mhm.
just alternating these things, this practice. Reading Dhamma books, walking meditation, or sitting meditation.
Okay. I guess I have one question over my personal retreat here. What time should I wake up in the morning? I normally wake up at 6:30. Um,
Anytime you want, it's up to you. You can set up the schedule. It depends on how much sleep you need and how late you go to sleep. But normally, the Buddha recommend 4 or 5 a night. Go to
mhm.
sleep at 10 or 11 and get up at about 2 or 3 in the morning.
Right.
And then you can
If I,
meditate
okay,
because early in the morning the mind is much calmer than the rest of the other time.
I see.
So you can get up about say 3 o'clock probably if you like, but go to bed about 10 and then have 5 hours sleep and get up about 3 o'clock and start walking first if you feel drowsy, walking for an hour and then sit for an hour. That will be 5 o'clock. And you might be able to go about getting ready for your one meal a day if it's possible.
Mhm.
Would you like to take one meal a day?
Yeah, I've been able to do one meal a day on most of my days off. Sometimes it's 2 meals before noon,
Yeah,
but generally it's just one.
yeah. If you
I
practice
can do that.
intensively, it's better to just take one. That
Mhm.
way you will not be distracted by having to making food, eating twice. You save half the time of eating and you can devote it to your practice. So just you have to set up a schedule though and try to stick to it, or else
Okay.
your mind will, just just this three thing that I did when I was a lay person. I walk, I sit, I read Dhamma books. Just go on three things.
Okay. I will do that.
But if you need to sleep more, it's okay because maybe you're not used to sleeping 5 hours. If you're used to sleep 8 hours, 5 hours might be a little bit too much for you yet. Just sleep as much as you want, but preferably try to get up early in the morning because
Okay.
it's a time where it's quiet and it's conducive to meditation.
Okay.
If you have a good start, then the rest of the day will be good also.
I see. Okay. Thank you very much, Ajahn.
All right. You've been talking to your father lately?
I did message him maybe a week or two ago, and I told him that I've been in contact with you, and he seems very happy.
Yeah. Last week we have his friend from Dallas. You know him, Pravit? Your father's friend named Pravit, I think.
His friend or his brother?
He
No,
says their friend.
oh no, no, I don't know him.
Okay. Is that all the question you have today?
That's all. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay, maybe later, if you want, you can ask. We'll go to Kenneth. Hi, Kenneth from Switzerland. How are you?
Hello, Ajahn. Very well, thank you.
Are you at the university
Yeah, I'm still here,
teaching?
Yeah, I'm here teaching, but there's no students physically present. It's all online.
Mhm.
So we do it with cameras.
Good, just like now, just like we do now.
Just like now.
Do you use Zoom like you're using now, or you're using some other program?
We use a program called Microsoft Teams,
Uh-huh.
very similar to Zoom.
And all your students have to attend at the same time, right?
Yeah, we have the lectures at the normal time, and they just have to come in at the right time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What year student you teach?
I teach mainly the final year, so the students are probably age about 23 to 25 years old.
Mm-hmm.
They're,
This is bachelor degree.
yeah, bachelor degree in engineering. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What kind of engineering?
I'm in a mechanical department, but I work mainly in application to rehabilitation engineering technology, like for people with paralysis and so on. We make machines for people like that.
I see. So it's kind of medical.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right. Have you any question today?
Yeah, I have a question. I wondered if Ajahn could explain a little bit about avijja. If my understanding is correct, then avijja is part of the chitta, something that's always been there. And avijja is basically the thing that leads to the arising of the kilesas. Is that understanding correct?
Avijja is not knowing the Four Noble Truths, not knowing the three characteristics of existence. That's what avijja, ignorance. Nobody teach the mind the truth of the Four Noble Truths and the truth of the three characteristics of existence. So when it doesn't see the noble truth and the three characteristics of existence, it keep running into dukkha. It keep going after dukkha, creating dukkha without knowing it. Every time you crave for something, you're creating dukkha for the mind already. Crave for a hamburger or whatever, and when it's not the time for you to eat, for instance, but you crave for it, and you're not supposed to eat. If you eat, it can harm your body. But still, once you have cravings, your mind is restless and agitated, and it just have to eat just to satisfy the cravings.
Okay.
But if you know the truth and you say, "Oh, this is not the time to eat," I should stop my craving rather than following my craving, resist my craving, and eat only at the time that I have to. I like if you eat once a day, then that's the time when you eat. After that, you don't eat until the next day, for instance. This way, you can curb a lot of your cravings.
Okay, so if we can come to like a better understanding of the Four Noble Truths and the three characteristics, then we can maybe begin to overcome the avijja.
That's right. Because then you can stop your, if you know that your craving leads to dukkha, see,
Yeah.
but you don't know that. You think craving leads to happiness, to satisfaction. But if you really look at it, it's just a brief satisfaction, not a permanent satisfaction, which then create more cravings after that.
Yeah.
Once your satisfaction disappear, your new craving arise again.
Yeah.
It's like a wave running into the shore from the ocean. It keeps one craving after another, one craving after another. And no matter how much you satisfy your craving, you crave for more and more. And when you cannot do that, then you have dukkha. Like right now, people have dukkha because they can't go outside. They can't go home for the holiday, Thanksgiving, Oh, this is craving, craving to see your friends, your relatives, craving to have a meal with your friends and relatives. If you use sensibility, what's the difference if you eat at home and then talk to them on Zoom, No, they have to travel, they have to go out of the house. Somehow staying in the house is like being locked up in a jail or something. Yeah.
Okay.
So they have to resist this craving, but they don't have the strength, the moral or the mental strength to resist the cravings, because they didn't know that this craving is causing them the suffering, the mental suffering.
Okay. Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you very much.
But if you see that whatever craving you desire for, whatever you get there, or anicca, dukkha, anatta, right? You get what you want and you're happy for a few days, then a new craving arises again. Or whatever you get, you lose what you get, then you feel sad again, right? So it's better not to crave for anything, just to live, exist without having to have anything. You can do this with meditation. That's why you have to meditate. Meditation can alleviate the suffering that arises from cravings.
Yeah.
Okay, good enough.
Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you very much. Very clear. Thank you.
Next to Ka-Fai Lim from Singapore, I believe. Ka-Fai.
Hi, good day to you, Ajahn. I'm from Malaysia.
Malaysia, okay.
No questions today.
Question
Just
again.
listen.
Okay, fine. Thank you for coming in. Well, Sui and Czech, how are you from Vancouver?
Good evening, Ajahn. How are you?
Good evening, Ajahn.
Good to see you again, both of you.
Okay.
Good
Ajahn.
to see you.
Yeah.
Mm.
Do you have anything to say today?
I want to mention to you that last week you taught Lisa Wu about the mindfulness as you use the analogy of mindfulness as a remote control that you can switch the channel. I love that one. It's been helpful to me, Ajahn. When I feel bad,
The problem is people cannot find the remote. That's the problem. Once they stop in the channel, they're just stuck there. They just can't get out.
Yeah.
So this is the practice of looking for your remote control. See? Once you find it, then you can control your mind.
Practice of looking for remote. So meaning we have to be mindful. No, mindfulness is the remote.
Yeah, and to get the remote, you have to be mindful, right? But you keep losing the remote. You keep being not mindful. You keep letting your mind switch the channel by itself automatically. So you want to stop it from roaming around different channels and force it to stick to the channel that you want it to stay on, which is Bhutto, or watching your body. Because these channels are peace and calm, no excitement, no dukkha, no agitation, no restlessness.
Mhm.
Other channels will cause you restlessness and agitation, anxiety and worries. If you switch to the election channel, you get worries and anxiety. If you switch to the politics, if you switch to the COVID-19 channel, so you should switch it to Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. Or
That's a good one.
Anapanasati, Anapanasati, breathing in, breathing out. Or Supa, 32 parts of the body. These are the channels that will make your mind calm and peaceful to watch.
Okay. I remember that, Ajahn. Ajahn, like when we the more we can be mindful, the more we have that remote, right? Like
That's right.
like
That's
when we are sad, it's already too late, right? Is it? Like,
well, if you remember that you lost your remote and you know what your remote is, then you start reciting Bhutto, Bhutto.
okay.
As soon as you're sad, then you say, "Oh, I'm sad. I lost my remote. Where's my remote? Where's my Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto?" So
Yeah,
you stick to
that's
Bhutto for
really
5 minutes, and then the sadness will disappear.
yeah, yeah. It's really amazing. It's the best Dhamma medicine you give us.
Yeah.
Mm.
Simple. Samba is very simple, but it's so difficult for us because we're not used to controlling our mind. We just let our mind run amok. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I
So
think
now we want to take control.
in the beginning, I'm sorry to say, but like it's because I think I didn't have enough faith. I didn't really believe in this medicine, and then with more faith and from your teaching, and I start using it. I see the effectiveness, and um, it's unbelievable that it's so simple, but it really works.
Yes.
Yeah.
People, just kind of can't imagine that a simple word like Bhutto can do
Right,
magic
right.
for the mind.
Yeah, yeah. It's just yeah. In the beginning, I'm sorry to say, but like I didn't really believe. But now it's it's working. Like it's wow. Like everybody should try it. It's like
Yes, it's very
yeah,
simple, very
yeah,
simple.
right,
But
right.
it's hard to do because the mind keep resisting, like people resisting wearing the mask. It's so simple. In Thailand, everybody when they go out, we all put on masks. So there's no infection in the country.
Yeah.
Everybody wear masks and it becomes a a habit. You feel like when you're not wearing mask, you think you're forgetting something. It's just a habit, really. You're not used to recite a mantra, so you find it, difficult to do. And you might think it's so stupid. Why they keep reciting a word? What for? What you're gonna get out of it? Because you've been trained to think intellectually. The more you think deeply and profoundly, you become better. But instead you're being mired in the pool of suffering. The more you think.
Right, right. Yeah, Ajahn, you really taught us to learn the about stop thinking, and that's the most profound thing for me, to stop thinking, because I've been taught the other way around my whole life.
Yes, everybody in the world has been taught to think. Think for yourself. Don't don't obey. Think. You have to. You are taught to rebel every teaching. Instead, question every teaching, which is also good, but you have to make sure that the teaching is bad when you question the teaching. But don't question the good teaching.
Okay. Yeah.
But you don't have the wisdom to distinguish which is the good teaching and which is the bad teaching.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it takes time.
Or your delusion keeps switching around. Make you see the bad teaching as good teaching, and good teaching as bad teaching.
Yeah. Well, we are very blessed, Ajahn, to have you in our life. Thank you.
Well, I have the same experience before. I was scientific minded. So anything religion, I try to push it away. I don't believe religion. But then I found out scientific information didn't get me any help. I graduated as an engineer, but I still have a lot of suffering, mental suffering. So then I turned to Buddhism, reading the books, and then I start to try to do the practice. And so religion sometimes is a bad word for modern people. They think it's I don't know what, but it's something superstitious, or But maybe some religions are, but Buddhism is not superstition. Buddhism is wisdom, is knowledge.
Right. That's right.
Supreme knowledge, the knowledge that will liberate you from dukkha, suffering, which no other knowledge in the world can do that for you. Okay, any question now? Maybe later?
Later, yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
later
Ajahn.
maybe.
Thank you.
Okay, let me go to Gleb. Gleb Ulrich, right? Your last name is Ulrich.
Oh, hi, Ajahn. How are you?
Hi.
Hi. Well, it's a Facebook name, but my Gleb is a real name.
Okay, yeah, I
I
kept
keep
seeing
on.
you. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is the first time I see your face, or maybe second time, I'm not sure.
Yeah, second time, Ajahn. It's this first time on my MacBook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I help you with any question?
Well, I have a lot of questions, but
Go ahead. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, in terms of practice and just contemplation, I've been contemplating a lot on the craving for sensual desire and craving for being and non-being. So, as far as I understand, craving for being and non-being is like wanting to be someone in the future and not wanting to be. But could it also, let's say, not wanting pain and wanting pleasure? Can it be
Yes,
understood?
there are two sides of the same coin, really. This being and not being. You can look at it on either side. Wanting something means you want to get away from something, right? So actually the two cravings are the same coin, two sides of the same coin.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be president because you don't want to be an ordinary person. Right. Okay. So, but this is on the physical level. There's another level we call the mental level. These are the level of the anagami. See, an anagami still have this craving for being and not being. But for him, craving for being is craving for rupa jhana. And craving for not being is craving for arupa jhana. Which are the two fetters that he has to get rid of in order for him to reach nibbana. He has got rid of the first craving, sensual desire, and anagami has get rid of all his sensual desire. But he still have these two other cravings that he hasn't yet tackled, because he used jhana as his means of getting rid of his sensual cravings. Mm-hmm. Now he has to get rid of the tools that he used to get rid of the sensual craving. If he cling to the tools, then he's still stuck in the rupa world or arupa world, the sphere of existence.
Mm. Yeah, sounds very high up. Like I can't even imagine that.
Yeah, but for you don't have to worry about that yet, because you haven't got rupa jhana or rupa jhana yet, and you haven't yet got rid of your sensual craving yet. So right now you should just be more concerned on your mundane cravings for being or not being rich, not being poor. or being healthy and not being sick. This is one of
That's the main
things
one.
modern people are really conscious of. Is healthiness, no sickness. But they forget the truth that no matter how healthy you are, one day you're gonna get sick. That's why the Buddha said we should constantly contemplating that once being born, we are subjected to aging, sickness, and death, regardless of who you are, rich or poor, healthy or not healthy. Eventually, you're gonna have to fall into this trap sooner or later. So be ready for it. See, this is what the Buddha teaches us to train our mind to accept this, because once you can accept it, you can stop dukkha.
And yeah, that's very, very good. And I've been trying to sort of go through my parts of the body and trying to see them as just being component parts. And
yes,
if
and
they get,
it's not you really. The body is just your servant. Your servant twin. You are the master twin. You are the Siamese twin, conjoined twins. When the body dies, the mind doesn't die with the body. The master doesn't die with the servant. The mind tells the body what to do, and the body follows the command of the mind. But you don't see this until you meditate. When you get into jhana, then you can see the separation more clearly.
Sorry, I don't. And in jhana, can an experienced practitioner get his chitta out of the body and have a look around and stuff?
Yes, that's another type of jhana called upajara. This is the special psychic power thing, where you can connect with the spiritual beings or read the mind of other people. I mean, it's maybe some other supernatural power, I don't know, floating, I think, levitation, sitting and you can levitate your body. These are the psychic power, which the Buddha doesn't recommend us to have anything to do with them, because they are distraction. They are not helpful in your practice of getting rid of your cravings. You need appana samadhi, fourth jhana. Does this answer your question, more or less?
No, this is very good. Yeah, no, this is very, very good. Thank you, Ajahn.
Anything
Thank
else?
you very much. That's all for now. Thank you.
That's all for now. All right. Okay, let me say hello to Gok Singh. How are you? Where are you from? From Singapore?
Yes, I'm from Singapore, Ajahn. Yeah.
Okay. Can I help you?
Okay, Ajahn, maybe I'll just relate my recent practice.
You have to speak louder. I cannot hear you.
Yeah, okay. Whenever I'm not lazy, I will try to wake up at 5:30 a.m. in the morning to do my meditation. And I noticed that when I meditate, I notice that even though sometimes I may sit for 1 hour, but when I do not know how much of it is actually observing the breath, and then actually there's also quite a large quantity of the time is actually when the mind is being distracted and go somewhere else. And then when I try to see what was my mind following, so my mind can be going after some of the past event. Then I find that I'm like a movie director and then directing all the people in the character, myself, and then all those people in all those events that happened in the past, or what they are supposed to say and so on. So it's like directing a movie, a movie show. And then when I move back, then I say, okay, back to the breath, back to the breath. And then I notice that sometimes when I very mindful back to the breath, then the mind tends to be very sleepy and wants to go back to sleep and then say, oh, very sleepy, or go back and sleep. So I find that the mind is very attracted to so-called wants to be entertained, in the sense that wants to be want to chase after all those all those things, wants to be entertained by all those so-called self-directed movies, and not and then when when the mind goes back to the breath, the mind tends to be get a bit sleepy and drowsy. So yeah, so that's my experience.
That's why you have the two different hindrances, the two extremes. One is restlessness, keep thinking. Second is sloth or torpor, or sleepiness. Yeah. So you need strong mindfulness in order to be able to rise above these two extremes. You have to keep reciting a mantra to keep you alert, to keep you mindful. Then you stop thinking, and at the same time not getting sleepy. So you might need to develop a lot more mindfulness before you can sit successfully. Because right now it seems you cannot prevent your mind from thinking, and when you stop thinking, you go to sleep. You cannot prevent it from sleeping either. So you're sort of moving back between the two extremes, thinking and sleeping. You should be in the middle, not thinking but not sleeping, being awake with mindfulness. So maybe a mantra should maybe be better than just watching the breath, because the breath might be more inducive for sleepiness, because you don't have strong enough mindfulness. So you might use a mantra, because with mantra you have to force yourself to keep reciting it. See? So you cannot go to sleep that way. Okay, try it. But you should do it before you sit. Try to recite Buddha as much as possible during the day, during your daily activity, whatever you do. If you don't have to think, then stop it by keep reciting Buddha. Then when you meditate, when you sit, then you can then use Buddha effectively. If you don't practice Buddha before that, when you sit, you cannot recite Buddha for long. You'll forget or you go thinking again. Okay? All right. Let me say hello to Lim Kim Heng. Lim Kim Heng, hi. From Singapore also?
No, Ajahn, I'm from Malaysia.
Malaysia also.
Yeah. Very happy to join your live session. This is the third time I'm joining. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, at least now I know your time is on Tuesday. Before that, I will see that live, but it's always over already. Yeah.
But it might change in the next 2 weeks, because I might have to move it up on to Monday, but I'll let you know a week ahead of time.
Oh, okay.
Because when the Buddhist observance day, on Buddhist observance days, I'll be busy during the day, so I get tired in the evening. So I might not be able to have Zoom meeting on Tuesday when the Buddhist observance day fall on Tuesday, which I think is the second week of December, if I'm not wrong. I'll check again, and I'll let you know ahead of time that I'm moving up the meeting one day ahead to Monday, but not next Monday. Next Monday, next week will be Tuesday. But I think after that, I think I'm have to move to Monday. Just for a couple of weeks, then I can come back to Tuesday again.
Okay.
You as Buddhist, do you know Buddhist observance day? The day the Buddha one
yes,
pra.
yes. You're talking about
on the 8th of the lunar moon, 8th rising and waning day of the waxing and waning moon, and also on the 15th and the 14th.
For me, I observe only the full moon and new moon, Uposatha.
But it's also halfway there. See?
I see.
In between the full moon
So Ajahn advice is to observe four uposatha per
Well,
month.
this is we do in Thailand, say once a week.
Oh, okay.
On the 8th day of the waxing moon, which was 2 days ago. Yesterday, I think Monday was the 8th day of the waxing moon of the 12th month of the first month
I see.
of the calendar. And then the next one will be 15, see, 8, 15, and then 8, and sometimes 14, because sometimes the moon become darkened on the 14th day, not on the 15th day. That happens about once every two months.
I see.
Okay.
Ajahn, just want to ask, just now Ajahn was mentioning about if we cannot concentrate on the breathing, we use mantra. So the suggested mantra is Buddha, yeah? Or is there
Yes.
any others?
Yes, you can use anything you want. Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta, Dhamma, Sangho, Dhammo, Sangho. Anything that you can think of. The 32 parts of the body, and any parts of it, skeleton, ati in Pali.
But this mantra, is it for concentration or is it for mindfulness?
Same thing, concentration and mindfulness is the same thing.
I see.
You have mindfulness, then you can concentrate. See?
I see. So the other thing, Ajahn, is every morning when I meditate, before I do the anapanasati, I will do 10 minutes of metta meditation. Is it okay, or should I straight away do concentration?
It depends. If you find it useful, then do it. If you find it waste of time, then you just go ahead and concentrate and meditate. Sometimes it's helpful, sometimes it's not. Sometimes your mind, if you're angry at someone, maybe metta will get rid of your anger. If you don't have any anger, and if you can focus on your breath, then you just go ahead and focus on your breath.
Then normally after straight away when I get up, I do meditation first. After meditation, then only I do chanting. Is it a correct way, or should I do chanting first before meditation?
You don't need to chant if you can meditate. Chanting is for the purpose of getting you ready for meditation. Sometimes your mind is restless, so you chant to bring the mind to become more calm before and be able to concentrate on your meditation object.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Let me go to Kyuyen Duong, I think. If I pronounce your name wrong, I'm sorry.
Yes,
Hello.
Ajahn, that's true. Hello, Ajahn.
From London.
Yes, I'm not far away from Saling.
Where? From where?
I'm in London, not far away from Saling.
I see. Okay, I'm not from Shaolin. Is she also in? I haven't seen her yet.
Sorry?
Is Shaolin in the meeting?
Yeah, she is in now.
Okay. I'm using the phone, so I can only see 4 pictures at a time. Okay, can I help you?
If when I meditate and after the meditation, like after the session, only then I feel my legs like painful. Is it called painful, or it's like only then I feel it? Does it mean that I didn't sit long enough to feel the pain? Because some other time I feel the pain during the meditation, obviously because of the lack of mindfulness. But sometimes only after the session I started to feel the pain. Is it because, or should I sit longer those times?
No, if you have strong mindfulness, you sometimes don't feel the pain when you sit. You enter into samadhi before the pain starts to become obvious. So you don't notice the pain until after you come out of samadhi.
But I don't think I was in samadhi those times because I know everything around. It's not.
That's two. There are two types of samadhi. Samadhi in which you are calm and you still know things around you, but your mind does not react to anything. See? And another type of samadhi is when everything is disappear, and all you have left is just the mind by itself. Both are the same. They have ubekkha. Both they don't react to anything. They don't react to what they see, they hear, or feel. They don't pay attention. They're more concentrated with their meditation object. But it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. So if you want to sit and let the pain arise, then just don't give up yet. Just keep on sitting. Sooner or later, your pain will arise.
I know.
But if you just sit on your first session and your mind becomes calm, then you don't notice the pain. But if you continue on sitting for after a while, then your pain will become obvious,
Sure.
and then you will start to notice it.
Yeah.
And then you have to be more mindful in order to be able to stay with the pain. You have to be more concentrated and leave the pain alone. The problem is we tend to react to the pain by desiring for the pain to be away, or by desiring to get away from the pain. This is what makes it painful in the mind, which makes it unbearable. If you can stop this desire to get rid of the pain or be away from the pain, then your mind would have no dukkha. Then you can continue on sitting with the pain when you have ubekkha. So you need stronger mindfulness. You have to raise your mindfulness up another level. That's when you start to notice the pain and you start to reacting to your pain. Then you should start reciting a mantra to raise up your mindfulness, and also to ignore the pain and the desire to get rid of the pain. Then if you can stop this desire to get rid of the pain, then you can remain sitting and stay with the pain without having any reaction toward the pain. Then eventually you'll be able to deal with any kind of pain without having to take any medicine.
But it's quite hard. Like if the first time the first pain arises, and if I use the mantra to get over through the first pain, then after a very short time, the second pain arises. But the next time, like I was expecting, I have the medicine, the mantra, and using the mantra the next time is not easy as the first time. Like it's not so effective as if the kilesa know or get smarter or wiser or like cleverer. They know we have a medicine, so they have something better this time. So the next time countering it is much harder than the first time using the mantra during the pain.
Well, you use a different mantra. You can recite the 32 parts of the body instead.
Oh.
Or you can do chanting.
Mantra.
You can do chanting also. You can chant also. Iti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vichācarana sampanno sukhato lokavitu. Keep repeating, chanting. You can change from Buddha to chanting or reciting the 32 parts.
Right.
Or
never tried the changing.
Change different object of mantra, like you can recite Anicca Dukkha Anatta, Anicca Dukkha Anatta.
Yeah. I like the Dana, the 30 paramis, so I found it quite useful. It's so emotional too.
Okay. Yeah, whichever one works for you. You have to switch around because the mind sometimes, your defilement is quite clever. And so You cannot use
It's
use
so
the same
clever.
method all the time. Yeah, you have to. Or then you can, if you have enough power to contemplate, then you can teach your mind to see the pain as being anatta, for instance. You cannot control your pain. You cannot force your pain to go away or tell it to come when you want it to come. So it's like the weather. Try to look at the pain as like the weather. And if you can live with the weather, you can live with the pain, right?
I don't think I'm up to that level yet. I know, your analogy, but I still cannot apply it.
Well, try it. It might work. You know, when you're in a situation in which you're forced to do it, then you might do it. If you
Yeah, when
want
I'm
to
forced to.
somehow be able to live with your pain, then think of the weather. You could live with the weather, right? Whether it's raining or snowing or sun shining, you can live with it because you have no desire to change the weather. So it's the same thing with the pain. You should have no desire to change the pain. Let it be. That's all. Because you cannot change it. Like the weather, you cannot change it.
I think my problem with the looking at the weather is, for example, it's when it's cold, I have my clothes on. I don't have the real physical pain, like feeling for the cold. When it's sunny, I have my hat on. So although I know, oh yeah, weather is changing, the rain or the sun, you cannot do anything about it. But I really don't have the real feeling of it. While the pain, it's right there. I know it, I react to it. So it's a bit different.
Well, then you should use mindfulness instead. If you cannot convince yourself that the pain is like the weather, then you have to use the mindfulness first. Either mantra, reciting the 32 parts, or chant some chanting like the Buddha's quality, the Dhamma quality. To keep your mind busy. The point is to keep your mind busy. So it has no time to have any desire to get rid of your pain. When it has no desire to get rid of the pain, then the mind becomes calm and not reacting to the pain. Then you can live with the pain that way. Yeah, you have to pass this stage first before you can go into wisdom or vipassana level. Okay?
Thank you, Ajahn.
All right. Let me say hello to Shweta. Hi, Shweta. From Chicago, Illinois, or Wisconsin.
Illinois.
Illinois. Okay.
Illinois.
But not Chicago.
I'm an hour away from Chicago. I'm suburb of Chicago, yeah.
Must be cold right now.
It's snowing, Azan. It's snowing here, yeah.
I see, okay. Good. Any question today?
I don't have any question, Azan. I just wanted to thank you for all your teachings and connecting with us, and helping many people.
Okay, you're welcome. Glad to see you. If you have any question, you can ask later on, okay?
Yes, sure. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay, let me say hello to Alvin Lee from Malaysia. Hi, Alvin.
Hi, Ajahn. How are you?
Good.
Yeah.
And you?
I'm good, thank you, Ajahn. I don't have any question today, Ajahn. I'm just happy to be here. Thanks.
All right, let me go say hello to Philip. Hi, Philip and Angeline from Malaysia also. Your neighbor, your friend.
Yes.
Good evening, Ajahn.
Good evening, Ajahn. How are you, Ajahn?
Good. Any question?
Yes, there is a slight question. I think it's also continuation of just now. I think Glad he also mentioned. As I noticed that the more I do meditation, right? Previously, I mean, we tend to look at the suffering. We tend to look at the bad feelings, the pain and things like that, which are easier to look at. But I have also noticed that on the daily life, I've also started to know noticing the good feelings, which are some of the good feelings from physical or some of the good feelings from mental. I am trying to bring back, when I feel that elation of happiness or whatever, I will try to bring back that happiness back into a place of equanimity or something like that, or that I don't get too excited, because I know that it's two sides of the coin. I mean, is it wrong to have those type of noticing of all those type of like happiness?
Yes, you should not react to happiness, because if you react to happiness, you will react to sadness when it comes around. So you want to maintain equanimity on both sides of the coin, happiness or sadness when they come. Just remain acknowledging, noticing, but not reacting. Like you acknowledge the weather. Oh, it's raining. Now it's sun shining. But you're not happy when the sun shines, or you're sad when it rains. You just say this is how the way things work. The feeling is like this. It keeps changing from good feeling to bad feeling to neutral feeling. It depends on the condition that generates it to happen. But your mind should not cling to any of them. Just let them be. The Buddha say what you come into experience, come into contact with, just contact and no reaction. Just merely know.
So I've also noticed that the knowing, which is at the calm stage, is a different kind of. I cannot explain it. It's not happiness, but it's a kind of neutrality, which is even better than that physical happiness or the happiness that comes from thinking or thoughts.
That's right. This is the happiness from calm or equanimity.
Yes. Yeah.
From peace of mind. But we tend to react when we come into contact with good things, good feelings. You grab at it right away. Like when you see a cup of coffee or you see a piece of cake, you grab at it right away. You forget about equanimity.
Yeah.
But if you have mindfulness, then you have to stop and say, do I have to eat this cake? Do I have to drink this coffee?
Yes.
Do I drink for myself or for my body? If you drink for yourself, then this is craving. Because the mind doesn't need anything. You don't need anything. It's the body that needs the food and the drinks. But the body doesn't need coffee either. The body can take water, plain water. That's all it needs. This is how you have to stop your craving, by using reason, logic.
So it's still the two sides of the same coin.
Yes.
Yes.
Because when you have no coffee, then you have sadness. When you want coffee and there's no coffee around for you to drink, then you get sadness. But if you don't drink coffee, then when there's no coffee, you have no sadness. You don't have any sadness. You're free from addiction. Everything is addiction. The 5 sensual objects are all addiction. And you are addicted to it, not knowing it. That's why people cannot stay at home to be saved. They have to go out. They have to go out to restaurants, to bars, to entertainment venues, to enjoy the 5 sensual objects. Because if they stay home, there's nothing for them to enjoy with. They are addicted to the 5 sensual objects. When you have to stay home, you feel not happy. But when you get out of the house, you feel like a bird, You feel happy.
Yeah.
That's because you can get your sensual objects. So you have to stop your desire. You have to try to minimize your dependence on the sensual objects. Bring it down to zero if it's possible. Only for the basic necessity of life, then you have to have it, like food. And you don't have to see anything. You better close your eye and meditate. You get better stuff from meditation. With the 5 sensual objects, you get a brief happiness, brief period of happiness. And after a while, it will disappear and leave you empty again. It makes you craving for them again. Never fulfill. But with meditation, you feel more fulfilled. And you can live without having to have any sensual objects to make you happy. So try to be mindful and meditate as much as possible to replace your sensual objects. Use meditation as the means of replacing your sensual objects.
And this would also apply, I mean, when we are in our everyday life, when happiness, sadness, we still bring back our mind to equanimity or the central.
Yes, just to merely know that they are like the weather, they come and go. Like the rain and the sun, they come and go. Don't react to them. Just tell yourself this is anicca, they'll come, sooner or later will pass away. It's anatta, you cannot control them. You cannot force them to go away, you cannot stop them from going away. So it's better just to leave them alone, not to react to them, not to have anything to do with them. Ignore them. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Let me say hello to ST Fong. Hi, from Singapore.
Hi, Ajahn. Good to see you.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, not so much of a question, but just whether you some observation that I do because because I have a family commitment, so I try to practice mindfulness in everyday life instead. So the moment I wake up, when I go to the toilet, when I brush my teeth, I try to chant, of course, very silently, boto, boto, boto. So I just do that in everyday life. And even when I drive, when I go swimming, I do that. So I try to replace that with so-called like 1 or 2 hours meditation because sometimes because of work commitments, I sleep late, it's too tired to meditate. So I'm trying to practice this daily Buddhism, mindfulness in the life. So I know sometimes when I fail, when I go driving and I get angry with maybe a few drivers, either driving too fast or too slow. So I know that, I see that as a result. Or like you mentioned, when I eat something, so maybe today I'm craving for hawker food, and the next day I have less cravings. I see that as a small steps. So what I'm trying to ask you is, I'm trying, because we can't have a 5-year retreat, at least for me at this point in the forest. So I'm trying to do that in a daily life and see how it works out in the daily life, because I find that it's more, in a way, more useful. And then I use the daily, so-called the results to gauge my progress. I mean, this is just observation and see. I just want to see whether you think I'm on the right track or I need something else to do.
Well, for right now, I think it's okay. But sooner or later, you're going to have to sit. If you want to get your mind deeper into calm and more strength. With mindfulness, it's one step that you have to have. But once you have enough mindfulness, then you should use mindfulness to calm your mind. So you should find maybe even 5 or 10 minutes. You don't have to sit for 1 hour. I think that's just an excuse. I think if you cannot find 1 hour to sit, I think that's something wrong with your life. You're not that busy. But it's your defilement doesn't want you to sit and meditate, because it's like being locked up in a jail or something. But right now you can practice mindfulness, but eventually I think you have to tell yourself, I should find some time to sit and meditate. You don't have to force yourself to sit 1 hour or 2 hours. You don't need to do that. Just say, sit as long as I can.
Yeah, I think I think that's something that I'm worried about, because I thought that by not trying to sit down in a place, right, that I'm trying to avoid that meditation. But for me, I try to replace it. Let's say I go running, I go jogging, I jog for an hour also, and during that jog of an hour, I try to replace that clear thinking or mindfulness when I jog also. So I chant when I jog, and I think it's an easy way out, because when I jog, I don't fall asleep. But if I meditate in a house or next to my bed, I fall asleep. So I thought that is actually in a way helpful. Or when I walk, or when I'm waiting for, even like you mentioned, when I'm in the toilet, right? Maybe for 10 minutes, I try to do some chanting. So that's something that I try to be aware, and I try to do it. But I know I agree with you that I think ultimately I still need to sit down. And
if you want to advance,
yes,
or else you'll be stuck to where you are right now.
Right.
Just mindfulness without samadhi. And you won't be able to go up to vipassana level to get rid of your defilements, your cravings, because you need ubekha, and you don't have enough ubekha from just using mindfulness in your daily activity. You have some, but not enough, not full ubekha yet. You need to sit and enter into samadhi or jhana to get full ubekha.
Okay, I'll try that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, you can ask any other question later on. I have to go through the round first. There are so many people waiting. Hi, Soling. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you.
Any question from you or your daughter?
I'm thinking about early on, you talk about when you answer Kuhn's question about the samadhi, you said there are two types. One is when the mind still feeling things, experience things, but not react to it. And that's one type. The other type is like the mind is totally empty of everything, just on its own. So does it mean when the mind still feeling things and like feeling the pains and whatever, but as long as it doesn't react to it and just put up with it and stay with it, and it is still a samadhi?
Yes, but maybe it's half samadhi or not full samadhi.
Oh, right. Because you said there were two types. I thought there's one and the other. So this is not really a samadhi, really.
Yeah, sometimes you can still receive the sensual objects through your sensual organs, but your mind doesn't react to them. Your mind don't feel irritated when you hear some noise or anything like that.
Okay, thank you.
But preferably you want to go deeper if you can. But sometimes when you meditate, you cannot. It depends on the strength of your mindfulness.
Yes, okay.
Sometimes your mindfulness is only half strength, so you can only go in halfway. Sometimes you have full strength mindfulness, then you can go in full all the way. But don't worry about the result. Just keep developing mindfulness when you're not meditating.
Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you.
Is that all for now?
That's all for now. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, Joseph Chi from Singapore or Malaysia. I keep forgetting which.
Hi, Ajahn. How are you? How are you?
Fine. You're from Malaysia?
Yeah, from Kuala Lumpur.
Okay.
Ajahn, I have two questions. The first one is, I don't know whether I'm doing it right or not. Okay. You see, every day we are deluded with a lot of news and social media chat groups with a lot of news about political situations worldwide, in the US, even in my own country, and so on. Although this news may be factual, but they tend to be on the negative side. So lately, what I've been doing is I've been telling myself, okay, I am the knower. Everything that I see and I read around me is just, there's no self. It's all in my khandas. And I should not take them in and believe them, although they are factual. So I treat them as an illusion or like watching movie. So I tell myself it's anatta. I'm the knower. I just read and I know, but I put it into neutral. Am I doing it right?
Yes, you should not react to the news. Just be aware of the news, but not to react to them.
Right. So I'm doing it right.
Yes, yes. If you're not being consumed by what you see or hear, then you're doing okay.
Yeah, because 90% of things around us today, globally, is actually nothing good. I'm sorry to say that. I'm sorry to say that. Yeah. The second question I have is, can you explain about the 8 and 10 precepts?
The 8 and the 10 precepts?
Yeah.
Actually,
Because a lot of us, we know about the 5 precepts. Generally, traditional Buddhists, we practice the 5 precepts.
Okay.
But going further, let's say if we are going to retreat or we need to practice the 8.
Okay. The 8 precept is actually 9 precepts, but they combine 2 together into the 7th precept. See, the 6th precept is not to eat after midday.
Okay.
And the 7th precept is actually 2 precepts combined to 1. One is to abstain from entertainment, like watching movies and listening to music. The other is to beautify yourself, your body. These are two separate precepts, but they are combined together to make it the 8 precept.
Right.
But if you keep the 10 precept, then these 2 precepts will be separated.
Right.
Entertainment is one, beautifying yourself is another. Then you get 9. The 9th is abstaining from sleeping on a comfortable bed. Okay.
Right.
And then the 10 is to not handling any money, not using any money.
Right.
This is for monks or for novices.
Right.
Because monks should not have any money, because money can be harmful to monks more than useful.
Right.
So when you keep the 8 precepts, you actually keep the 9 precepts. But for some reason, they don't like the word 9, probably. So they combine the 7 and 8 together to make it 8 precepts.
Right.
But if you ordain as a novice, then you have to keep the 10 precepts.
Right. So like you were saying, ordaining as a novice in your place, for example, will take about 1 year, is it?
No, you just stay as an 8 preceptor for 1 year. No ordination yet.
Oh, okay.
But after 1 year, then if you are eligible, then you can go ahead and ordain as a monk or as a novice. It's up to you.
Right. So the length of time is up to us. It can be even 2 years.
Yes, and
I'm not sure.
The minimum is 1 year, but you can stay longer if you like, if you don't want to ordain yet.
Oh, okay. So for lay practitioners like us, although we are meditating, we can just practice the 5 precepts if we are at home, just doing meditation to get into samadhi.
If you don't do intensive meditation, then you can keep the 5 precepts, because then you can watch the news, you can watch the movie, you can have dinner. But if you want to do intensive meditation, then you have to stop these activities by keeping the 8 precepts.
So will just keeping 5 precepts hinder us from getting into the jhanas and into real samadhi? Like if we still continue to watch movies, not
Yeah,
movies, watch the news or read messages.
Yes, these can be hindrances to your meditation.
They can be hindrances. Yeah.
Because you're sending your mind outside, not inside. You're not pulling it inside. You're
Right.
sending it out to the sensual objects. The goal of meditation is to pull the mind away from the sensual objects. So that's why you have to need to have the 8 precepts to prevent you from going to the sensual objects.
Right. Right. So refraining from indulging in the 5 senses as much as possible will create better chances for us to get into good samadhi.
That's right. That's right. Because indulging in the sensual object is one of the hindrances. There are 5 hindrances, and one of them is sensual desire.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Ajahn.
Okay. You can ask later if you want any more, if you have any more questions. Okay. Let me go through the round first.
Thank you.
Okay, next, Alexander, MC. How are you? From Brazil, right? If I remember you correctly.
Ajahn, thank you very much to invite me. Yes, from Brazil, is correct.
Can I help you with any question today?
Well, it's a question and a report because you told me to let go from rapture, to don't try it again, just forget about this. So yes, I don't know what you talk about. I mean, yes, it's gone already. But I realized that there was the jhana all the time whenever I sit and meditating, or like now I'm put attention on the ears, try to, and then I get feelings of jhana. I want to know if it's correct. It's just not the rapture, but yeah, it's a feeling of peace and different than we when we are busy with other affairs without attention.
Yeah, your mind should be empty of thoughts and not reacting. It's just happy, contented. That's what jhana is. To be calm and more or less existing alone by itself, the mind by itself and nothing else except emptiness.
It is valid also when we are listening at Dhammas with full concentration. I like to read also while I'm listening. Then I focus more on. Then I don't need to go and back. Then I did about 7 hours in the line. It's 5 hours with Ajahn Lee teachings. And the way to do it was to concentrate on the texts and to the listen and text, and then I could get along with an understanding the Dhamma from. He explained in his books from A to Z, and we have this in the YouTube. So it's not a jhana, but high concentration, right?
That's right. If what you read and what you listen is the same thing, right?
What I hear, what I listen.
Yeah, what you hear and what you read is the same thing, right?
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah, okay. If not, then it can be confusing and not for concentration.
Yes, but I noticed if I don't read, then
yeah, your mind will drift away. Your mind will start to drift away. So you need something visual for now. But probably better later if you can. Don't use any visual at all. Just concentrate on the audio alone.
Yeah.
But you might need stronger mindfulness to do that.
Yes.
When you're first starting and you don't have enough mindfulness to listen, then you might use this method that you use right now to force you to be more mindful. Yeah. But eventually it's better not to read at all, just to listen. because your mind can become calmer that way.
Yeah,
Because you want to pull your mind inside. As long as you're still reading, your mind is still outside at the visual object. And then your mind cannot go inside that way, see. So you have to close all the 5 essential organs, basically, in order to get the mind inside into jhana.
Yeah, I learned also that there is conscience in the sense organs. So and then the mind actually is the two is the mind itself plus the conscience of whatever it's acting together. So then I could have more mindfulness during my days here at home, because I am in retreat already. I just could not really go for high skills of meditation. I did Goenka many years ago, so I have the experience to sit for long term. And but I had to organize my life to only to do that, because it's like you said, is a serious war, which our body gonna lose later. So we're gonna lose the body, and I understand that. Well, when the conscience inside the body start first, and it start to asking to make contact outside, and if we learn to calm it down inside the body, so when we die, we don't need to look for another body. Is that correct?
If you can stop using the body now, then you want to go look for a new body after this body dies. But if you're still dependent on this body to make you happy, then you will then, when this body dies, then you will then have to go look for a new body. If you still have sensual craving, then you need the body, because the body has the sensual organs for you to use to contact the sensual objects.
So we have to deconstruct the body. So I bought a pop to start. It's all organs inside. And I start already to look to some things in the internet also, but I think like this, because when I lay down, I start to make a super to demount my body, to put the bones, the earth one side, water on other side, air on other side, and to look at it all as a mount to deconstruct my idea of body. And it's not so heavy, because when I start to have those nimittas of skeleton, I skip it, because well, I'm starting, so I'm not very used to, so I get a little scared. I live alone and it's dark, but I notice also when I get out of these very high concentrations, and when I sleep, I have some dreams that I never had before. And even when I open my eyes, was like I was still sleeping. So I start to see things everywhere, not manifest in 3D spirits, but I start to see forms of face. I used to be artist, so I abstract from everything. I could see things. So, but that started to be too strong. Then I start to use the mantra, Bhuto, 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 put the lights on. And then later I find that was my ignorance, because I did not knew that's one of the things that we have to overcome. But I find out by my torpor and slaughter that every time I want to sit to meditation, started to be like this. So I said, oh, this is the sneaky one again. But how to overcome it? But then I was very high concentrating, then I could do the discernment. I know that's too early for me to go to Vipassana, but in this case, I succeed to go the I Chings and to feel tired. I say, oh, that's a production of my kilesas. But then I wanted to follow it, and in the end of it was I thought myself that that was too difficult for me, that I did not knew, and it was too heavy, and then I cannot go. I cannot understand in it, and then therefore I start to feel tired and this and that. And since I did so, I start to open my mouth like after each other many times, and then the thing was gone, and the torpor never came anymore.
Okay. If you can get rid of the sleepiness, then it's good. But don't make your mind agitated as a result, though. You want to be calm and awake to meditate.
Yeah, I noticed that if I use the alertness together, the focus, the concentration, the mindfulness, to bring me back all the time, it's working very well. You know, it's this element. Not going to, because I learned also that the mind just know the now. It don't know in the middle and don't know in the end. So it will be sankhara, fabrication, everything after the now. So I get aware about this, so I pull my mind back easier now.
Okay, good. Is that all for you right now?
I just want to share that with you. Thank you very much.
Okay, very good. As long as you can control your mind, that's the purpose, that's the goal of practice. Control your mental fabrication, your thoughts. Stop it. Keep it calm. Just keep the mind knowing and not thinking. Okay?
Thank you very much. I will.
Let me say hello to the next person. Sinyi, hi.
Good evening, Ajahn.
How are you?
You're good, thank you. How about you?
Good. You're from Malaysia?
Yes, Johor Bahru.
Okay. Any question today?
Just actually, I'd like to share this. I agree with Sui and Check that I'm also glad that Tan Ajahn has always emphasized using a Buddha. I've been actually experimenting between observing the in-breath and the out-breath, and then going back into Buddha. And recently I found that I said, why not I just try Buddha? And then when I do long enough, I found that suddenly the mind, the in-breath and the out-breath is very subtle, and the mind drop into calmness. So I didn't realize that the Buddha mantra is so powerful.
I see.
Yeah, so I'm so glad, that Tan Ajahn has keep on emphasizing on this, using the mantra. Because I always try to observe the in-breath and out-breath, but I find that it's just not subtle enough. But by using the Buddha initially, then it really helped me.
Yes. When you don't have much mindfulness, I think Buddha will be more useful than watching the breath. But if you have strong mindfulness, then maybe you can just watch the breath without having to recite the Buddha.
Yes. And then the other thing is that sometimes during my normal days, like recently, I heard these songs, overheard the songs from my neighbor. She played it very loud. And suddenly I realized that, there are some emotions coming up. Then I was asking myself, why is this emotion arising? And I said, well, probably it could be connected to memories. And I remember that, Tan Ajahn said, memories are just like weather. and then I just let it go. Is this the correct way to contemplate when we are in contact with sense pleasures or sense what called a contact?
Yes, not to react to them, just treat them like the weather, like feelings, emotions or feelings, that's the same thing. Let them come and let them go. Don't go look for the record and play it for yourself because you enjoy it, for instance.
Yes, true. Even then also suddenly I smell, you know, people cooking onions. Wow, it's so nice. Then I tell myself, wow, this is great coming up.
Yeah.
Then when I tell myself, oh, this is great coming out, okay. Then suddenly the mind just drop it. And then, you know, I'm no more getting carried away. Is this the right way also to keep on telling the mind?
As soon as you have craving or greed, then you should think of the three characteristics that greed will lead you to dukkha sooner or later. Because what you greed for is temporary. You might enjoy it for a while, then it will disappear, and then it will leave you empty again. If you can stop your greed without having to contemplate on the three characteristics, then it's okay also. You can just stop it.
And then, you know, in normal lives, we have so many things to do. Somehow I find that, you know, I wanted to get things done, you know, and in that cause, I feel very restless. So, and I tell myself, suddenly I think life is very short, you know, death is just around the corner. Is that also the correct way to contemplate?
Yes, you will stop your greed and your desire to do things. Because whatever you do, what happens if you should die suddenly? It doesn't matter anymore, right? Once you die, whatever you want to accomplish or not. So that the contemplation of death is very good also. It can stop your defilement very, if you're up to it, because for some people, contemplation of death is too strong. Instead of stopping the defilement, it increased the defilement of fear. So if you become fearful every time you think of death, then it's not yet ready. You're not yet ready for death contemplation.
All right. Okay, that's all my questions today.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good talking to you. We'll go to Fabian. Hi, Fabian. I'm glad that you can join us.
Well, I just want to start by saying, you know, I'm really grateful for you doing these online sessions. It's really fantastic. So my question is, so when I use the Buddha, I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, very loud, loud and clear.
Okay, so when I'm meditating, I use the Buddha mantra. I find I can get quite tense because it's as if I'm kind of, you know, I want to get to jhana, you know. So and so it has the opposite of being a calming thing. Should I just persevere and then eventually somehow that that will just pass? You know, or should I use the breath and combine it with Buddha instead? I just find that you know, I'm getting into the kind of a craving mentality when I'm using the Buddha mantra when I'm sitting.
Well, if you can, you can try and see if the emotion will disappear after a while. When you first started, your mind might react and create this emotion. But if you don't pay attention to it, just keep concentrating on your mantra, then eventually it might disappear when your mind becomes calmer. But if you feel that you cannot go through this, then maybe you have to switch to something else that's more suitable for you. People, they have different ways of meditation, premeditation. If you can just watch the breath without having to recite Buddha, you can do that also. Just keep reciting the breath. And some people use the 32 parts of the body as a preliminary way of meditating. Just keep reciting the 32 parts in English if you like, in the language you can understand. Hair of the head, hair of the body, and just go through the 32 parts, forward and backward. This will force you to be mindful, more mindful.
Okay.
So you can choose different method. Yeah. Maybe Buddha is not suitable for you. Maybe you want to do something else.
And do you think sorry?
When I first started, I recite a sutta. I recite the four foundation of mindfulness sutta to calm my mind down before I can sit, before I can watch the breath.
Mm-hmm.
So you might have to do something like that. But if you can go ahead and watch your breath, then you don't need to do all this chanting or reciting.
And is it if I can basically I do 45 minutes in the morning, 45 minutes in the evening, is it possible for somebody to reach jhana, reach that stage through as little I mean, I do as much as I can, but I mean that's basically, I mean, is that enough, or is it that to reach jhana, you have to be meditating, at least, I don't know, 5 hours a day?
Well, the time of meditation is not the real decisive factor. The real decisive factor is the amount of mindfulness you already have established, maybe from previous life. See? Some people have a lot of mindfulness, and sometimes they can enter jhana in 5 minutes. Even though you're still a lay person, like the Buddha. When he was young, one day he was left alone sitting under a tree, and then suddenly his mind just entered jhana automatically. When there are no things to distract the mind, then the mind can go inside. When it used to do that before in previous lives. So just to look at the time frame only is not sufficient to decide whether you can get it or not. But if you cannot do it in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, then you might have to say you have to need more time. That's all. If you do 45 minutes and you can still not get it, it means you might have to do 1 hour or 2 hours. You just have to increase the time of practice until you eventually get to jhana. And this is different from person to person. Some people can get into jhana in less time. Some people takes a lot of time. Some people practice for 10 years before they can enter into jhana. So it's mindfulness is the key, the factor. If you have strong mindfulness, if you can just force your mind to concentrate on your meditation object for 5 minutes without being distracted by anything, you might be able to enter into jhana in 5 minutes. Okay.
I just one last, and also sometimes I feel that meditation makes me a worse person. You know what I mean? Sometimes I feel that meditation, concentration on the mantra, somehow makes me less present for other people and less able to love. Is that just the defilements? Is that just my thoughts tricking me?
Yes, your thoughts is tricking you because you spend a lot of time doing other things and you don't feel guilty, right? You watch a movie for 2 hours, you don't feel guilty by watching movies.
Mm-hmm.
When you sit meditate for half an hour, you feel guilty already. So it's your defilement trying to stop you from meditating, really.
It's not that I feel that it's that I feel that state of constantly repeating the Buddha mantra, that somehow that, how can I say, that takes my mind to a different place, and I feel less human or less able to love. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
it's just a subjective.
It's just your feeling, that's all. In reality, okay, you're just doing mental exercise, like doing physical exercise. You jog for 1 hour, so you remove yourself from work, from people to jog, right? So it's the same thing with meditation. You remove yourself from everything else temporarily, but after you finish with your meditation, you come back and rejoin the world again.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Hope you can join us again I'm sorry about Saturday and Sunday. I'm busy. I have some other things to do.
I understand there's the time difference. I was very pleasantly surprised when I saw that you were you were live at this time. You know,
Yeah,
it was
okay.
a good opportunity. Thank you.
All right. If you have any question, you can ask more later on. Okay. Dean, it's your turn now. Hi, Dean from Singapore.
Evening, Ajahn.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Ajahn, may you have good health.
Yes, thank you. You have any question or any comment? You can have 5 minutes if you want to say anything.
I'll let other people have the time. I can email you if I need the answers, Ajahn.
Okay.
Thank
Then let
you.
me go to Eileen from Malaysia. Hi, Eileen.
Hello, Ajahn.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, Ajahn. How are you, Ajahn?
Good. You have any question?
I don't have any questions. I just want to listen to the Q&A.
Okay. Then let me go to Belinda. Hi, Belinda. How are you? From Singapore.
Hi, Ajahn. I'm good. Good to see you. So,
Any question today?
uh, um, when the mind is weak, Ajahn, it's also part of. Right now, I put just be aware, being mindful, even though the mind hasn't been able to really get into concentration. But just keeping the mind aware, where the mind is going.
Do chanting or reciting the mantra would be better. It will calm the mind down
Yes.
quicker.
Sometimes I would chant, but it would fall off. I just aware and then come back. And
Yeah,
also
because sometimes you're aware, you also sing at the same time when you're aware, and this will not calm your mind down effectively. You have to take proaction. You cannot just be watching your mind, because your mind can still be active and can still think and make you weak. So you should stop it from thinking by reciting a mantra or chanting. Do some chanting. Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy.
sometimes I'm not sure, like I'm still working with the mind, where how much to be lenient, or what is the middle path. So the mind is still trying to figure out, or still trying to understand the mind.
Well, what can I say? You just have to find the middle path. Each one has a different way of, different type of middle path to take. So,
So is it okay to I do my best to keep to mindfulness?
what do you mean by keeping to mindfulness?
Also, like just do my best. Thank you, Ajahn.
When you say you
to
keep
apply
it,
when to apply force, or when to whip myself, so-called whip, to force the mind to detach, or to so I still quite figure out where how much, because I'm afraid sometimes when I force the mind too much, it may have a rebound effect. Like it will rebel part, and there's another layer of many layers. So I apply now, like compassion, knowing that this is the mind, how it works as it is, and accept them as it is. Of course, when they are bad thoughts, or so far no bad thoughts, it's quite relaxed, like lazy, maybe lazy also. So like when do I force myself to be disciplined, and when do I allow it to be accepted as it is? when to resist, when not to resist. So it's still working on that, the mind.
I guess you just have to do it, try it different ways until you can find the right method for you.
I just want to let Ajahn know there were days where I allow the mind to detach from friends and all. But as I watch the emotions, it was very unpleasant from the sensation, the heart pumping very strongly. But then the mind was able to watch and just watch, not having to force to create a metta or just watch the mind as it is. And it helps to gradually soften the body, gradually soften the heart population, also gradually soften. The sensation is a lot of anger, maybe more dosa. So I try not to let the mind have too much commentary, just watching the sensation as is, as long as the mind allows. So a lot of some is intentional application to force the mind to do certain things, and also striking the balance to just watching the sensation as it is, as long as the mind is able to take it. Is that right, Ajahn?
Yes, just not react to anything. That's the goal. Is just to know and let them come and go. Don't try to react either by like or dislike. Just leave them alone. Let them be. Let them come and go like the weather. Okay.
Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you so much.
Okay. Let me say hello to Rachel Lim from Singapore, right? Rachel?
Yes. Hello, Ajahn. Good to see you again. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you, Ajahn, for your teaching. I think it's very beneficial, very direct, and I can understand. Previously, you suggest that for me to sit as long as possible, because I said that after 2 hours of sitting, the pain will start to arise, and then I will tend to give up. But you mentioned that if I can sit and I feel good, I should continue, and I should keep my mind busy. So I tried that method. So when the pain get too intense, I switch to contemplation of the body, the 4 elements. So miraculously, after contemplation of 4 elements, the pain suddenly disappeared. So my question is it because of the effect of the contemplation that caused the pain to go away, or really there isn't any pain at all? Because it's very weird that suddenly 1 minute the pain is so intense that I can really feel it even on my scalp. But then suddenly after contemplation, the pain suddenly disappeared and I can sit longer after that.
Sometimes the pain was mentally induced by your defilement. See? So when you distract your mind away from the pain by contemplating on the 4 elements, then the pain induced by the defilement will disappear. So you don't feel any pain. The pain become minimal.
Because I tried to search for the pain again. By scanning my body, I couldn't find it. So I feel very amazed.
And it's also the nature of pain that it comes and goes also. If you leave it alone, eventually, when it reaches the maximum, then it will then disappear also.
Yes.
By itself, whether you force it or not. So this is the nature of pain. This anicca is impermanent. Okay. So you don't need to do anything. Let it come and go by itself. What you need to do is to teach your mind not to react to the pain, which can cause it unbearable to the mind.
Thank you, Ajahn. My second question is that sometimes after meditation, I will have certain knowledge. So my question is, how do we ensure that the knowledge that we gain from meditation, like when we do contemplation, we have certain insights. How do we ensure that it is the right view and we don't deviate from right view?
If we can get rid of your dukkha, get rid of your defilement, then it's the right kind of information. If it doesn't get rid of your dukkha or your defilement, then it's not the right kind of information you want. Then you can just ignore it.
Okay. Thank you, Ajahn.
But if this information can let you let go of your sexual desire, let go of your cravings, then it's the right kind of information. Let go of your suffering. Let's put it that way. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Ajahn.
All right. Let me say hello to Yana. Yana iPad. Hi. How are you? Where are you from?
Good morning, Ajahn. I'm from Naples, Florida. In
Naples,
the United
Florida.
States. It's morning here. Sorry, it's night there. Good night, Ajahn. Question about, well, that was mentioned before about vipassana meditation. What is actually vipassana meditation? And it said that you cannot jump to vipassana meditation before you do samatha meditation. Is that right, Ajahn?
Is knowledge. It's learning the truth of the existence. What our existence is actually is called vipassana. What our body is, what our feeling is, and what our states of mind or emotions are. They are impermanent, they keep changing. They are not under anybody's control. If you want to control them, then it can cause you suffering, mental suffering. Like your body, you cannot control your body. You cannot prevent it from getting old, getting sick, or die. This is vipassana, to study the anicca nature of the body, feelings, and mental states.
So you have to reach samatha meditation first before go to vipassana?
In order to be able to let go of your attachment to this body, feelings, and states of mind, you need to have the upekkha that you get from meditation, or else you cannot let go of your attachment.
I see. Okay. How about one more question about, we all know we are gonna die, right? We're gonna die, and when this body is done, it's gonna be we say that we reborn. Now, which part of is reborn? It's the chitta?
The mind.
Cetasika?
The chitta.
The mind.
Is the mind. Yeah, not
the
the
chitta
body.
is the mind.
No.
Not yeah. So your mind is, that's the part is reborn.
It doesn't reborn. It just go reattached to a new body. That's all. The body is just like a car, and the mind is like a driver. When the old car breaks down, the driver will look for a new car.
Well, what I heard about, that's when you the reattach to another body. But what happened if we born into the, it's not as a human again? You know what I mean? It's like you can be reborn as a peta or asura or other being. So how's that?
That's because of your bad karma. Prevent you from taking a human birth. You have to pay your bad karma first, your debt, before you can then take up a new body, a human body. If you break the 5 precepts, then you cannot be reborn as a human being right away. You have to be reborn as a preta, as a asulagaya, or you have to be in hell to pay for the karma, the bad karma that you did. Until this bad karma expires, then you will be allowed to go reattach to a new human body.
So the one is traveling is actually the mind. Keep traveling, keep traveling until Nibbana.
Yeah. You can say traveling, but that doesn't actually travel because it has no size or shape, but it keeps changing itself from happy to sad, from good to bad, and we give them different names.
Okay, thank you so much, Ajahn. appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sajalka, hi, how are you? From Maryland, if I remember correctly. Can you unmute your microphone? Okay.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you for your teaching, Ajahn, because I think I have one question. I still live with family and I still hold a job. What I find is that I'm not able to communicate the way I used to, in the sense that I'm not being unkind, but the keep on relating in the way that I used to do this seems kind of completely wasted of time and meaningless. And I cannot open up and talk to them how I feel. They will think that I'm coming from like a different place or something like that. And it's like I have a daughter, 15 years old, and I cannot talk to her about Dhamma, and I don't really have to. But the way I used to communicate is something that means that the worldly things doesn't kind of interest me anymore, because I do not watch TV. I do not feel a need for entertainment. I feel contentment, and I'm saying that I don't have to go to the two extreme of liking something, disliking something. I have contentment for myself, and so it's very difficult to kind of continue the with the job and continue with the business as usual. So it's kind of like I'm in a strange place. But as you are saying, and I feel that it's very lucky in this human life to come into Buddha's teaching. And if I let it slip, then there is no guarantee that I'll be born as a human being, or I even come back to Buddhism that I have now. So can you please answer me?
Well, it's just your desire or your wish to advance further in the Buddhist practice. So then you find that you will have to eventually gonna have to abandon everybody and everything and be alone, so you can then do your practice full time.
Will that be too
One way to
selfish?
look at it, one way to look at it is that eventually we are gonna be separated anyway. Like your family, your wife, your daughter, your job, everything, you're gonna have to be separated sooner or later. But to be separated now is better, because then you still have the time to go and do the practice. If you wait for the time until you die or you get old, get sick, then you cannot do much anything. Look at the Buddha, he has to leave the palace. He has to leave his wife and his son. You know. He didn't even dare to go say goodbye to them, because he felt that they wouldn't understand and they would stop him from going anywhere. So you have to think of the Buddha. If you want to walk this path, follow his path, then you have to look at him as the example. Because you see the futility of life, right? There's nothing in this life that you want anymore. They don't give you the satisfaction or the contentment that you can get from practicing meditation. So it's normal for everybody to come to this point in time when they practice. They eventually will find that they rather be alone and do the practice than anything else. All right? Does this make sense to you?
Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions?
Thank you.
Okay.
No, thank you very much.
All right. Let me go to Gek Yenso from Penang. Hi, Gek. How are you?
Ajahn, good evening to you. I do not have any question today, Ajahn. I'm still learning how to detach the feeling of pain and also numbness after meditating for about an hour. Yeah, I'm still learning. Yeah.
Okay. Then let me go to Jessica. Hi, Jessica. You're almost the last person, I think.
Yes. Hello, Thanajan.
Just come back from work.
I went grocery shopping because I'm going to the temple tomorrow offering food. So I just got back home, not just recently.
Okay.
So yes, next month I'm actually moving to a new place, and I was cleaning out my closet and clothes and material things that I don't know how they got there or why I chose to have that in my life. So I was just thinking about this one Japanese woman. She's a minimalist, and her name was, I think, Fumio Sasaki. She said that if it doesn't spark joy anymore, why have it in your life? So I just came back to it just recently. Last week I was cleaning out my closet. I was thinking what I'm going to do with all of this. Okay, I will donate it. But then certain items that I've had for the longest time, I don't need it. I don't know what to do with it. And I thought about, it doesn't even spark joy or happiness. It's, and I'm overanalyzing maybe, but I thought about, I use Dhamma teaching that, don't be attached, especially to materialistic things. And so it kind of brought me back to where it's just an object. It doesn't even bring me happiness. Why don't I just give it away? So I was just thinking, oh, wow. I think I will not have any more clothes to wear.
No, you have to have some clothes to wear. Yes. Buddha said you have to have the basic necessity of life. That's all you need to have.
So
you need food, clothing, shelter, and medicine. That's all you need. Anything else, even if they spark some joy, they are just temporary.
Yes,
Usually when we fall into that trap. Because when you see
indeed.
something new, you have some good feeling toward it. But
Yes,
after a
indeed.
while, it becomes commonplace and it doesn't spark any joy anymore.
Yes, because actually, before I was working in Germany in palliative care, and there were so many elderly people in the nursing home. And, in one room, there was barely anything in one room. And I'm thinking, okay, they're 80 years old and plus, and all the things that they had before fitting in one room, there was basically nothing there. And,
because they're not allowed to take anything there with them.
I don't know. So
Except the clothing and the thing that you really need to have.
So it was just their body, and and not even relatives go visit them. So I was thinking at the end, okay, attachments from family, from friends, at the end, it's just you and Buddha. That's it. Nothing really matters, and even materialistic items don't matter. So I'm using, my daily obstacles, and as well as integrating them in a way that I'm practicing. It's testing me how I should live my life, and as well as I'm feeling like I'm more wise the older I get, or the more faith I put in the Lord Buddha. I don't know, I feel I'm not normal, but I'm awakened. So
you're not normal as when you compare to the rest of the people, but you're
yes.
normal when you compare to the Buddha and his disciples.
Yes, Ajahn. Yes.
The Buddha said all you need is for your body is just a 4 basic requisites of life.
Yes.
And for your mind is you need meditation. That's all you need for yourself.
Yes.
For the mind, meditation, and for the body, the 4 basic requisites of life. It's very simple,
Yes, it is very simple, but I think we overanalyze so many things that don't really matter at the end. I still don't understand how people can bring themselves to that kind of suffering. You can just choose what makes you happy and, you know, choose that, but most of the time people choose the unhealthy things for them. So I think if you have persistent and you believe in, you know, the one way, the only way, which is the path to enlightenment, I think there will be no doubt, and there is always somebody there like you to guide us. So thank you.
Okay, is that all for now?
That's it, Hanajan.
Go say hello to.
Thank you.
Peter, you want to say something?
Yeah. We have 3 people left in the second page. Augusto, you can unmute yourself.
Okay, Augusto, how are you?
Hello, Ajahn.
From
Great.
Portugal.
How are you?
Portugal.
Yes, Portugal, Lisbon.
Okay, can you speak louder?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yeah, okay. Any question
From
today?
Lisbon. Ajahn, why didn't Buddha shave his head?
Why didn't the Buddha what?
Shave his head.
Shave his head? Because it's easy,
Yes.
see. Then you don't have to worry about shampooing or looking after your hair. See. It's a burden.
Yes.
Having hair is a burden. And since you don't need to have a girlfriend or be socialized with people, then it's better not to have any hair. See.
But why didn't he shave his head? Because in the images that we see
Oh,
normally, we see the
that's just
Buddha
a
with
rendering
hair.
of the artist. The artist want to make the Buddha look
Okay.
but in truth, he's shaved
Okay.
head like any other monk.
Okay.
So that's not the true picture of the Buddha. What you see of the Buddha image is not the real reflection of him.
Okay. Okay.
Okay? Is that all?
Okay. Yes. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Morris, are you still here, Morris? Hi, how are you? First time to see
Hello,
you.
Namaskar, Ajahn. Can you hear me?
Yes. How are you?
COVID-19 caught my body. Today I got the result of the test from the COVID-19 and it was positive. But I feel nothing. So that is the strange part.
Okay, you are asymptomatic, I think. You don't have any
Yeah, I think
symptoms.
so. Yeah, but I have some great experience about it during my meditation. A few days ago during my meditation, I feel something in my body was disturbing, was not right, like painful feelings, but different. And I did a test of the COVID-19 last Sunday, and it went out. The COVID-19 is in my body, and for me, it's great experience to meditate, and Putto helps me really a lot. It gives me mindfulness and concentration on my body and how my mind react to it. And I feel loving kindness to the virus. It's really strange feeling. It's like you can do with my body everything you want, but it will not leave me for my path of practice of fear or something like that, because the kilesa can have the COVID-19, but my mind and heart still have the Dhamma. And I know when you the Dhamma protect those who practice the Dhamma, and it's great experience this, because I was a little bit stubborn, like COVID-19 will not catch me and something like that. But now it catch my body and not me. So I will see how my body will deal with it and how my mind also deal with it. So great experience.
Yes, you might have to take another test before. Maybe it's a negative. Maybe it's false result, false positive.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe my mind tells me, but that is it. It is not about the message of positive. It's more how my body feels at the moment, and I know there is some virus in my body. I know that, and it's my body is not strong. It's have different part of my body, a little bit painful feelings, but not ignoring. It's like it's jumping around my body, and the strange thing is during my practice and in my daily life, I feel really comfortable with it. It's not I'm scared or fear to die or something like that. It's more how I say that in English. It's more exciting to practice more and know exactly that the body is not yours. It's just what you explained to us all, Satu, that it is a car and we are the driver. So so it will also pass.
Yes, that's very good. You're becoming enlightened.
No, Satu, no. Satu, no.
If you can let go of your body, then you are enlightened. The first level, or Asotapanna.
Satu.
Sotapanna see the body not belong to him, not himself.
Yeah.
As well as the
Yeah.
feeling of the body also.
Yeah.
So he's
It's
not
like
afraid of, he's not afraid of death. He's not afraid of
it's like
pain.
joyful. It's just like okay, the body is in pain, but not but not
the mind.
attached to the mind or heart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The mind
really
just
great.
the knower. The knower, just know.
Yeah, yeah.
Know the body. Very good. And
Thank you very much for your fruitful answers and teachings during this video chat and also with all the people. Thank you for your experience and thank you for sharing with us all. And Anumodana Satu with you, and may Ajahn Suchart Dhamma protect you and guide you to enlightenment. Thank you so much, Pa Ajahn Satu.
Okay, you're welcome. You're not working.
So
You have
happy.
to.
I'm
You
so
have to
happy to see
isolate.
you.
You have
I'm
to
so
isolate
happy.
for 2 weeks. Do you have to isolate for 2 weeks?
Sorry, Pa Ajahn?
Do you have to isolate for 2 weeks?
No, just for 1 week.
1 week. I see.
Yeah, yeah, just for 1 week. Yeah.
Then you have to take another test, right? Before you can
No,
go back to work.
no. If after 7 days I feel healthy and strong again, then I can go back to work.
Okay, good.
But now it's like a retreat, so I can practice the 7 days and listen to your Dhamma. Thank you so much, Pa Ajahn. And if the vaccine is right, I plan next year in October to come to Thailand.
Okay, come and visit
And
us.
for sure, I meet you. I'm so happy with you, Pa Ajahn Satu. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye for now. Let me say hello to Nigel, Hong Kong. Hi, Nigel. How are you?
Hi, how are you, Ajahn?
Good. How are you now? Better?
Better, yeah, but I'm still very concerned with my brain because you have taught me to be actually I need to be smart, but not I want to be smart, but I need to be smart because if I continue my work, I will be a doctor later. So I know you have taught me to be smart. I have to learn the tricks of others, right? So I know the way, but it is hard for me to try it because as maybe I have omitted in the last 2 Zoom meetings that I was too stressful before, and I just slept for 5 hours per day and sometimes 2 to 3 hours. And so now I bear the consequences of having very poor memory, cannot comprehend things. I think it's something related to the frontal lobe, the brain. And yeah, and now I'm very organized because I cannot distinguish what is wrong, what is right among different teachers. Like I know you are a very good teacher. Yeah, I believe in you. But sometimes different people say different things, and now I lose the ability to distinguish among them. So it's it's even harder for me to like choose what is suitable for me. It's very what a pity because Dharma is here, but I do not have enough cognitive function to like comprehend it and grasp it. So and now I like when I read news, everything, the information just go and come and go. I cannot retrieve them, and I cannot retrieve the information from my brain. So I was once born with a high IQ, but I'm very worried, and I want to gain back the IQ, and I don't want to be reborn at this stage. Yeah, if I have another life. So I want to solve this bad karma, but I don't know what to deal with it. Yeah, I would like to seek your advice.
Yes, you have to start with mindfulness. Start practicing mindfulness, and then mindfulness will then develop your mind to become strong and become wise. Then that's the only way that your mind can withstand anything that happens later on. What you did already in the past, you cannot go back and change them. So you have to build up yourself to be ready to accept whatever consequences of your past action.
Is this a kind of karma, bad karma for this stage, or is only for me not taking care of my body, the consequence of?
Well, I'm not sure what it is, but whatever you are, whatever happens to you now are the result of your past karma.
Karma.
Yeah. You are what you are now because of what you did in your past lives.
But now,
in this life also before, up until today, it brings you to here, to where you are. If you want to improve your life, you just have to develop mindfulness, meditation, and wisdom. This is the only way you can improve your life.
But one difficulty I'm facing now is that when I start focusing things, my right brain will be painful. Like when I relax, I just stay. My mind just stay scattered. But when I want to focus, and the right brain will be very painful. And sometimes when I practice, I have the habit of like emitting metta. When I was still well before, and now when I emit metta, and then my like my right brain will be paralyzed and cannot. And I can feel that other part of the body is emitting the metta, but here the right part of the body cannot emit the metta, and I don't know what to do now.
Well, then don't do it. If you cannot do it, don't do it. You don't need to emit metta. Yeah. That's not the way to emit metta anyway. The way to emit metta is when you meet people and you show them friendliness. Be nice, be kind to them. This is metta. This is the way to radiate metta. When you do it when you meet people or whoever you meet. You want to be nice, you want to be friendly.
So, yeah, I really want to like restart my life, because now I cannot work. But like I'm doing research, it's very lucky for me to have this so-called enrichment year, because for this year I do not need to like study medical stuff. I just need to like choose what I want to do, and now I am doing research. But now everything comes and goes. I just cannot comprehend anything. Like maybe what you have said now, and for 5 minutes later I forgot most of them. Yeah. So I know I need to be mindful, but the brain cannot support the intense mindfulness.
Okay, you just do whatever you can. Don't do more than what you can do, because it can cause you stress. Just you have to maybe lower your goal, lower your expectation, and do what you can.
Okay, but like will doing some merits help my situation?
Yes, some, but better if you meditate on mindfulness, of develop wisdom. Look at life as impermanent. Eventually, life's gonna end. So don't expect much of don't expect anything much from this life, because eventually it's gonna end and you're gonna have to give it all up anyway.
I know. So I've read from the Buddhist doctrine that I've read much of them, but now I can hardly retrieve them. But from one doctrine it says that if we have complete faith in Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and we have the 5 precepts and 10 and do the 10 good deeds, and we are already Sotapanna. Is that true?
Not already. You have to do it, and then you have to pass the test. See, doing it is just part of the work, but not the entire. It doesn't guarantee that you become right away, because you have to do it right, and you do it fully before you can achieve the result.
That means I have 10 5 precepts and 10 10 good deeds, and I have to pass the challenge bit by bit for each of them, and then I can call myself Sotapanna, right?
Yes, because these are tools, the tools that you want to use to lift your mind to the level of Sotapanna. So you have to find out whether you have enough tools to lift your mind up or not. See, by studying is not enough. You have to actually applying it in your life.
Applying it. Okay. So like you say I better lower my goal for this stage, but yeah, I'm very worried because at this stage I cannot really learn anything, because learning and forgetting very serious. And if I'm like this for for a longer period of time, then I really cannot do anything, including practicing Buddhism, because as I said, being mindful already stretch my brain sometimes.
Well, then it's just your karma. I guess it's your bad karma.
Bad karma.
Yeah.
But what can I ensure myself? What can be done for me to ensure myself? If this life I am not able to be a Sotapanna, the next life when I can be sure that I can sit under the chair of the next Buddha and get enlightened. What can I do to ensure this from happening?
Just keep the 5 precepts.
5 precepts. Okay.
Yeah, keep the 5 precepts, and also do charity as much as possible. If you have anything you can give away to charity.
So if
Dana and Sila, you have to practice Dana and Sila. If you cannot practice meditation yet, then you just have to practice these 2 practices, Dana and Sila.
Dana is giving up, right?
Yeah, charity, sharing, giving things that you don't need to keep.
It's really pity. What a pity. The goal is in front of me, but I cannot practice it. Buddhist teaching is in front of me, but I cannot practice it.
Well, you don't know. Maybe today you cannot do it, but who knows? Maybe tomorrow or a few days from now, you might be able to do it again. See? So I'm just saying, do what you can today, and maybe you can do more tomorrow or later on. Then you do more. See? as you go along.
Thank you for encouragement. And because someone criticized me because
I think I have to stop you now because we have
okay, that's
running
fine.
out of time.
Okay.
And there's still some more people come. I think it's Phuket. You're the last person, I think, for today. Phuket.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, go ahead. Where are you from? India?
I am from India.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I just came here to, see you.
No questions.
Yeah, I have no question. I just want to hear some others' questions.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming in and joining us. I think there's another person haven't yet the chance to talk. Pimpida, you want to say anything?
กราบนมัสการค่ะพระอาจารย์
Yeah.
ค่ะ Can I just ask one short question?
Yes, go ahead.
Because I've been on my own quite a lot more, and I've been practicing mindfulness more. So I think I'm faster at detecting defilements or thoughts that coming into my head. And although I'm faster at letting go of the defilements and thoughts because of the mindfulness practice, sometimes I start to worry whether I'm such a bad person to have all that, thoughts and defilements and like patika and kamaraka. Is that normal, or is there a way to deal with it, please?
This is normal for people who still reborn as human beings, to have this kind of thoughts, sexual desire, and the desire to be and the desire not to be. We all have them, maybe to a different level or different degrees, but we all have them. So don't feel guilty or anything like that. It's something we have to get rid of by the practice of vipassana, contemplating on anicca, dukkha, anatta. If you have sexual desire, contemplate on asubha, the disgusting part of the body. Then you can get rid of your sexual desire. Look at it as a disease, as an illness.
Okay.
We all sick. All of us who are born in this world are sick with the defilement. So we have to use the Dhamma medicine to cure our sickness. Okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Well, I think we have spent about almost 2.5 hours now. So I think if nobody has any more questions,
Yes, Tan Ajahn, can we ask the question from Facebook?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, lah.
Yes, there are 7 questions from Facebook, Tan Ajahn. The first 2 questions from Miss Keep Kim Ong. Ajahn, how is the feel of sleeping mindfully and how to do it?
What do you mean?
How is the feel of sleeping mindfully and how to do it?
I don't know the question. Can you say it again?
How is the feel of sleeping mindfully and how to do it?
I don't know. Sleeping mindfully. You're not mindful when you sleep. When you sleep, you don't have any mindfulness. But before you go to sleep, you can use the breath, mindfulness of the breath, to bring you to go to sleep. Reciting a mantra. But once you sleep, then you don't have any mindfulness. Okay.
And there are 3 questions from Po Liang Soon. The first question is, may I know situation of second jhana is?
Well, you don't have to know. You just concentrate on your meditation object, and then the practice will lead you to the first, second, third, and fourth eventually. When you practice, you don't want to know which jhana you are in. All you want to do is to concentrate on your meditation object. If you want to know the description, please look up in the Google, I think. You can search in Google for the 4 jhanas, and they'll tell you what they are. Like, I don't remember them.
And next question Daily condition craving so much distract in our meditation. How to stop this craving?
Cravings? Well, you have to be away from things. You know, if you crave for food or for sensual objects, then try to go live in a monastery or go live in the forest where there are no sensual objects for you to crave for. So you have to stay away from these objects that you crave for. Because if you're near them, then your craving will come up very quickly.
Next question. Why our mind so sensitive on thinking daily life activity that easy to affect our meditation? So we must free our mind and make no busy?
Yes, you have no mindfulness. So when you have no mindfulness, then your mind will react to things very quickly. But if you have mindfulness, then your mind will not react. Your mind will be calm and just be knowing. Okay.
Next question from Lu Fu Yin. Namo Buddhaya Ajahn. Please explain about the permanent and impermanent mind. Thank you very much for Ajahn teaching that has been beneficial. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Well, see, the mind or the knowing element is permanent. It doesn't die. But the conditions inside the mind keep changing, like the four nama khandhas, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana, and the mental objects in the mind also are impermanent. They come and go, they rise and cease. But the mind itself is permanent. The knowing element is permanent. Is that all?
And the last question from Adeline Chin. Evening, I would like to know, continue on Yana question on rebirth. How does one free oneself from the bad karma? Does doing meditation can help to reduce it?
The karma that you already did, you cannot get rid of them. You sooner or later you will have to meet them, the consequence of your bad karma. But what you can do is to not do any more new karma by meditation. Okay, is that all?
There's one question just come from Tu Pun. Namaskaran Ajahn. I'm Tu from Nepal. I am feeding cat food to some cats. Does that mean I am helping them for not killing?
Well, not really, because if they have a chance to kill, they will still kill. So you're not really helping them. You just might postpone their killing because someone else is feeding them right now. But as soon as they have to look for food themselves, then they might have to kill again. Okay?
That's all,ท่านอาจารย์
I think we have come to the end of our meeting for tonight. Unless anybody have some pressing question, I'll allow for you to ask another question if you like. Just raise your hand. If you don't, I think it's about time. It's 2 hours and 29 minutes now, which passed by very quickly, by the way, I think. Yeah. Quicker than watching a movie, yeah. Maybe because it's interesting and we all enjoy it. Okay, thank you very much for your participation. I hope this meeting is of some benefit to you and can lead you further advance in your practice. Thank you for coming in. Stay healthy, stay safe, and be mindful. Goodbye for now. See you the next time. Next week, the same time.
Thank you,ท่านอาจารย์
Thank you, Ajahn.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Thank you, Ajahn. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Ilan.